This is W2FJH. We'll be starting at on the voice chat in just about 5 minutes. We do have that logger already. For those folks who was checking early, you can find that logger at netlogger.org. We also do have Google Meet up and running. And if we spend time on Google Meet, you can find the link at stnydmr.net. So we'll see you folks in just about 5 minutes here. W2FJH.
W2FJH, K2WGK.
K2WGK. I'm so used to your old call sign. You might come back there again.
Yeah, it's K2WGK. Yeah, I know. You know, just want to let you know I'm going to check in and out real quick. I have to get going. I didn't realize I had something to do today. Also, I was just trying to listen to YouTube, and it's cutting in and out pretty bad. I let you know. 7 days, we'll talk to you later. K2WGK.
Okay, thanks for Bill. I'm trying to pull it up now and see if I can catch it. um, I'll go to the start the stream there or something. I don't. I did have one occurrence. I didn't realize it was coming in and out weird like for quite a while. Hopefully that clears up.
I'll send it to you on Messenger so you have it. All right, buddy. You take care. 7 3s and hope everything's all good with you and the family. Talk to you soon. K2WGK. I'll be here.
Hey, thanks for Bill. 7 3. I've been checked in and out there. So this is going to be update. I'll be clear. We'll start in the net in just about 1 minute. STNY Digital Voice, Grandmaster Talk Group 31336. STNY Digital Voice Net is help foster an active digital voice community, and that's what I'm questions or interested or questions regarding various digital voice topics. Well, this net is primarily for the volunteer. All stations are welcome to check in. This net meets DMR.net. This net will prioritize short-time, mobile, in-and-out, or emergency conversations. We currently do have 4 stations tracked into no longer, so the net would like to recognize N2 QFD Mail, K3 BYC Carlton, N2 NRA Cliff, and K2 WGK Bill, who was checked in and out this evening. All right, when checking in, please recall sign, name, and your location. So let's first take a standby for any stations that are short-term, mobile, in-and-out, or emergency power. Please call now.
W2 KGC, this is Dennis. I'm going to be in and out tonight, so I'm testing.
Good evening, Frank. This is N3OJP Ed in Binghamton. I'm in for the long haul. Over.
Right, and I have W2 KDC Dennis, who was checked in and out this evening. Thanks for stopping by there, Dennis. All right, I also have NE2W Ed, and picked up from Water. I also have N3OJP Mick. All right, so let's open up for. This is Q Charlie 3 Victor. Q Charlie 3 Whiskey Victor X-ray Scott from Zer.
Kilo Delta 3 Alpha Juliet November Anna for Beaver County. No comment.
November 3 Delta, Quebec Delta, Ray, Beaver County.
All right, and I got case 3 WEX Scott, and KDB AJ Anna, and N3 DQD Ray. Were there any other stations going to evening? Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so we'll move on for questions. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. All right, no questions either, so we will move in for comments. The net topic this evening was donated by Mick N3OJP, and the net topic is, what was a memorable contact? Your first contact, an unexpected contact, distance, and I'm sure there might be several that come to mind. So first on my list is N2QFD Mel. How was your week? Here is N2QFD. Good evening, Frank, and to the entire net. Pretty good week. Finished up pretty well with the weekend here. Lots of outside stuff. It was a nice day in Elmira. And was just doing some HF copy of the mighty KBC's 1 minute of MFSK. And that was a good one tonight. Interesting topic, but not a great copy. HF's been all over the place lately. A remarkable contacts. I've been at ham radio for some 30 years. There's a lot of fun contacts. Stuff from space. I've been a ground tracking station. Worked with the HARP project as a receiving station on a moon bounce project. But I got 1,000 miles to 1 watt twice with transmitters I built. A little 3rd watt and a little 1/10 watt transmitter I built, and it turned out it was the same ham in West Virginia, Don Santos, who answered my CQ on those Tunatin 2 and Micronaut transceivers. And that still sticks out in the memory. So we'll pass it back to net control and see who else has had some fun times on the radio. Here's N2QFD. Hey, very good there, Malin. Yeah, 1,000 miles on 1 watt. That's pretty impressive there. So I did forget to mention, too, as a kind of a secondary topic as well. I know there was several power outages, myself included, this afternoon because of all the high winds there. So this is a secondary topic. If you have any power outages in your area, please let us know. So, all right, next on my list is K3BYC Carlton. How was your week?
This is K3BYC, Carlton from Darlington, Maryland. Thank you, Frank, for taking the net. Good evening to everyone who's checked in. I'll start with topic number 2. We had some intermittent power outages late afternoon. 4 or 5. It would flicker off and then back on in a few seconds. And that was getting irritating. I reported it to the power company. And then once all the power seemed to be restored pretty good, then my internet and my cable, and the house phone, that went down for about maybe a half hour to an hour. And finally, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do this net. So anyway, that finally got that company took care of that, restoring that. So yeah, I guess a little bit of wins there. And as far as contacts, I'm going to reset here. I don't have HF here at home, so I can't give you any good stories on that because I do it so little, maybe at a field day or over at the EOC. But within my realm of digital, I have done international contacts with various countries on WiresX or DMR. But probably one of my more memorable was just on going through a local fusion repeater. Someone, a ham, was on a commuter flight from Boston down to Middle River, Baltimore County, Martin State Airport. So shortly after they were airborne in Boston, well, he had a Yaesu fusion radio, and he had permission from the captain to operate on it. Well, he he went through one of the local repeaters in Lancaster County en route, and so once it was, of course, made contact. That was probably my first uh, uh, aeronautical contact. So you tend to remember the aircraft, um, and so I'll call it that one there. So it was a good contact on fusion to a commuter flight there. Uh, Beautiful weather. I hope everyone's enjoying it. That's all I have for now. Everyone have a great week. This is K3BYC. Back to net control.
Hey, very good there, Carlton. And yeah, I know how that goes. When you get the power back on, and then something else, you think you're out of the woods, and then oh, no, your internet's out. And I live out in the country there, so it's a little spotty with cell phone service, and so yeah, kind of put the damper on your day. And yeah, that's a cool contact as well. I actually just got one because I've been getting into Meshtastic, and I leave my node just on and running. And I actually got in the general chat room there. I actually got a message that said "Good morning" from SW. You know, and it gave some letters there. I don't remember the number offhand, but I looked it up, and it was a flight from Albany to Dallas, Texas. And so somebody was on the airplane there and sending out some Meshtastic text messages. So I thought that was a pretty cool find, a little Easter egg in the morning for me to discover there, because I think it was sent at like 6 a.m. But yeah, it was an interesting one. So all right, next on the list is N2NRA Cliff. How was your week?
Thanks for taking the net, Frank, and good evening to everybody on the net. By a little rain, but a lot of wind here. No problems with the power. And need to mow the lawn first time tomorrow, I believe. So, net back in 1992, I ran across a net called the fish net, and N1 LFO, a silent key now, was the net control of the fish net from Wilkett, Connecticut, and I met up with a couple other friends there. Let me take a break. A couple of the guys I knew was K3WF Walter Fleet from Cottersport, PA, and I later found out that he was a backup communications guy for the Enola Gay. And Whiskey Victor 3 Mike, a friend of mine belongs to the Philadelphia Glider Club down there in Coopersburg, and so we still chat on Sundays there with Joe. So that's about the gist of it. Back to net control. This is N2NRA.
Hey, very good there, Cliff, and thanks. Yeah, you reminded me too of the lawn. I was going to try to mow the lawn myself this weekend, but it kind of rained all day Saturday. Well, it was raining on and off, and I was like, that's not. But yeah, it's almost that time of the season again where we're talking about whether we got out to mow the lawn or not again, huh? So, all right, next on my list is K2WGK Bill. He has checked in and out, and after that was W2KDC Dennis. He has also checked in and out this evening. So next is NE2W Ed. How was your week?
Hey, good evening, Frank, and everyone on the net this evening. Good week, I guess. Not not too much going on. Uh, well, I should take that back. It was a busy week. Our club took a trip down to W3USR to celebrate ham radio open house there at this University of Scranton club station. Real nice station right downtown Scranton. And what else? Question about tower contact got me thinking. Our club, before we moved to the Copernic Observatory, we were up on Milks Road, up on a hill south of Binghamton. on the next hill. You leave Binghamton, you go up over a hill where all the TV and radio stations are, and you go down, and then there's another hill, which is actually higher, but the TV stations prefer to be closer to the valley where all the people are. So we're at like 2,200 feet with a 90-foot tower with a 20-meter monobander on top of there, and we used to operate a lot of the contests. And one contest I remember operating and made an interesting contact because what would happen, I'd be at home operating in the city here, and the band would go dead, and I could get in my car and drive up to the hilltop, and the band would be open for another 2 or 3 hours because you were up that much higher in elevation. Let me catch a break here. So that's sort of the background. We have this tower, we have a club station up on the hill, and there was some contest, or maybe it was just a DX station. I'm here in Australia, and California's calling them. All the calls are sixes, and I put out a call from a W2OW, our club, and the guy in Australia comes back to me and asks me, "Are you really in New York?" Because all he was hearing was the West Coast, and they were loud. But he said you were coming in on top of them, right over the top of them, and he wondered if I was really in New York. I said yes, I was, and evidently, if you get just the right propagation like that, you can beat somebody that's closer. So that was a memorable contact from many years ago. One thing about living in the city, our electric company, NYSEG, was headquartered here at one time, and they put a loop of towers around the city, if you will. A rather large loop. It covers the city, and it gets fed straight from the north from Canada, from the west closer to like Niagara Falls and Buffalo, and from the south. So this power loop around our city has three sources of power. So I really can't remember the last time our power went out, but it would have to be like back when the East Coast went out, because something could happen on one of those and we still get it from the other two. So that's my story. Back to you, Frank. This is STNY.
Hey, thanks, Ed. And yeah, Australia's a nice little long DX contact there. I basically don't think we could almost get any further than that. If you start going more than half around the world, you're actually coming back the other direction. So, but yeah, and that's interesting to know. I lived in Binghamton for probably 8 years or so. I came down and started living in Binghamton because of Binghamton University, and um, but yeah, the whole time me and the wife were living there, we had one power outage that lasted a whole whopping, I think, 30 seconds. The power went out and it came right back on. Not a big deal. And yeah, since we moved out here to Owego, it's it's a little more prevalent there. But that's nice to know. I just figured, hey, it's in the city, they handle it better. But yeah, having three different sources, that definitely could make sure that the lights stay on. So, all right, next one, Liz, is N3. Actually, before I get to my next station, I'm sorry. Let me take a quick standby. I'm about halfway through the list, so let's take a quick standby to see if there's any additional stations you'd like to join this evening. Please call now.
Frank N2 BSS, November 2, Bravo Sierra Sierra, Jessup, I'm actually in Steuben County tonight.
All right, I picked up K7SWS, Steve. I didn't have any audio from you, but I saw that your call popped up there, and I see that you're in NetLogger, so I did check you in. After that, I caught the tail end of AD30 Dennis, and then came in N2 BSS Jeff, so I have all three of you checked in there. So, all right, next on my list is N3OJP. Mick, how was your week?
Well, good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net. Quite a net tonight, Frank. I'm looking at NetLogger. There's 14 people. Looks like Steve is in Montana. Well, it was a good week. Got my wife's 24 by 24 foot screened-in greenhouse completed. It's all screened. And I had to do that to keep the animals and the birds, the deer, everything out of there for her raised beds. Of course, you can't start planting anything yet until this weather stabilizes. She's saying right now, probably, Mother's Day. Start to think about it. And grandson, couple soccer practices. Well, he had a game this afternoon. That was fun. He won. He scored some goals. He was so excited. It was a big day for him, as well as everybody else. It was fun to see him do that. Been a ham over 30 years. And back in the early 90s, I bought one of those Radio Shack 10-meter rigs. They're rated for 25 watts. And I took a piece of plexiglass, poked a hole in it, put in a PL259. No, excuse me, an SO239, the other side. And strung two 16-foot legs on it and hung it up in the garage in the rafters. So my inverted V was angled at whatever the rafters were. Probably power output, I guessed, 17, 18 watts, if that. And I was able to work South America, Africa, Europe, of course, the United States, and that was just a thrill. Working those DX stations with just that makeshift antenna. In fact, I still got it. I've had numerous FL Digi with Japan, and those are on 10 meters in the evening, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and they went on 45 minutes to an hour, which was surprising. And then a couple of times with tropospheric ducting at night on 10 meters. Worked California, and the copy was so good it was like we were on DMR. And we even cranked our power down to 1 watt and 100 milliwatts. We were still able to copy each other. So, but yeah, those first contacts on that 10-meter inverted V, just thrown up in the garage, and that worked pretty good. Frank, I'll turn it back to you. W2FJH N3OJP.
Hey, thanks there, Mick. And yeah, that's pretty impressive for hitting those countries with just a makeshift antenna and everything. How you had it set up, and it's glad. It's good for the grandchild there. In soccer and scoring a goal and having a big day there. So it's nice. So. All right, next on the list is KC3WVX. Scott, how was your week?
This is KC3WVX. The week wasn't bad, but I've been sick since Wednesday, so my weekend was horrible. The upside is it gave me lots of time to finally get this DMR radio set up and working. This is actually my first contact on DMR, and as far as contacts go, this has been the hardest fought contact of any of them I've made. Wow, what a different animal this is from HF or any other analog stuff. Yeah, but this net popped up just at the right time. I'm able to try it out, and everything seems to be working okay.
Hey, very good there, and yeah, we're happy to have you. Yes, DMR is a bit of a steeper learning curve at first, but it's a lot of fun. You can jump around to different specific areas. If you want to talk to any of the states, you want to talk to any subregion, or you want to go international and you want to hit other things. It's just a lot of fun. But yes, just by the way, if you want to find more information about this net, and some things we do, like if you happen to miss a week or something, you can find a replay out on YouTube. If you go to STNY.DMR.net, stands for Southern Tier New York Digital Mobile Radio.net. You can find more information about this net, or also we do have a site of 73. It's 7 spelled out, SEVEN, numeric number 3.net. There's also a group of people there, so if you have any questions, feel free to post some questions there, and hopefully some people will get back to you and help you out with your endeavors on DMR and digital voice. So happy to have you aboard there, Scott. All right, next on my list is KD3AJN. Anna, how was your week?
Hello, Frank. It's Annette from KD3AJN. My week was good, except I was sick part of it. And just starting to feel better today. So that's all I have, and have a good week. KD3AJN.
Hey, thanks there, Anna. And yeah, this time of year, you and Scott, this time of year it kind of sucks to start getting those early summer colds, or at least it's bad to get a cold regardless. But I think at least in winter it's not as bad. For some reason it feels even worse in summer to me. So glad you're feeling better there. All right, next on my list is N3DQD. Ray, how was your week?
Yeah, good evening, Frank. N3DQD here. My week was good. Probably one of the most memorable things we did this week was another line and I went down to one of the local hardware outlets, and we were doing a Lions Club fundraiser, and we sold a whole lot of raffle tickets that day at the store. So that was probably a high point of the week. And you ask about a memorable contact. Well, I have not had HF gear since 1990, but back in the 80s I used to do a lot of HF, and one of the most memorable contacts I've had was I was tuning around 20 meters one night, and late afternoon, and I heard a station come on looking for somebody in the Pittsburgh area because they wanted a relay done to a family in Pittsburgh. The family in Pittsburgh's daughter had gone down to Venezuela, and the family in Venezuela wanted to let her family know that she had arrived safely and all was well. So that was probably my most memorable contact. I've had aeronauticals and those things, but putting that family's mind at ease, that was the memorable contact. Back to you. W2FJH and 3DQD.
Hey, very good there, Ray. And yeah, that is an interesting one because in today's society with cell phones and phones everywhere, and you could always just call somebody and this and that. Well, the cell phones aren't always foolproof, so it's good to see that you can still make that contact and say that you arrived safely, get a hold of family members or friends or something, and there's a alternative path to make sure that your loved ones know you're safe. So, all right. Before I get to my next station, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. So let's take another quick standby. For any additional stations that would like to check in this evening, please call now. Okay, I didn't think so, but I figured I would just check. We have a very good large net this evening, so thanks everybody for stopping by. All right, next on my list is K7SWS. Steven, how was your week?
Hey everybody, K7SWS. I'm not actually using a radio. I have a Mega DV dongle in my laptop. That's how I'm doing this. And I will tell you that I've done Fusion, DMR, and D-Star, but Fusion by far is the hardest one to navigate. But I've only had this working for a couple of weeks now, so it's been pretty fun. As far as things going on here, well, it's spring, Montana style. 69 one day, 30 the next. We never know what we're going to get. I know somebody was talking about their greenhouse earlier, and we have a greenhouse. We do grow some things outdoors, but nothing can go on the ground here until the 1st of June. We've tried in the past to do Mother's Day weekend, and we've had things frozen out. So the joys of living up here in Big Sky Country. Anyway, great net, and I'm glad that you guys drug me in here. Thank you very much. And when I first got on, I couldn't hear anything, but I think we have a pretty antiquated internet system here in the little town I live in, so sometimes the net gods get in the way of digital radio. K7 SWS, back to net.
Hey, no problem at all there, Steve. Most of us here in the southern tier, we don't actually have any DMR repeaters in the air. I think a lot of us would like to see a DMR repeater get up in the air. But yeah, most of us are coming in through some MMDM hotspots, some through some clear nodes, and me myself, I'm coming through a hotspot, but also as I'm streaming this out to YouTube, I have a DV Megastick that's connected up to my laptop and streaming with OBS and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely a grab bag of different things here. So yeah, you're in good company with that DV Mega dongle. All right, next on my list is 83O. Dennis, how was your week?
Pretty good. This is 83O. Not. We're getting ready. We're 2 weeks out. We'll be heading back to Pennsylvania. So I'm starting to get some stuff around and trying to finish up some projects. I did a DigiPi and got one of those AIOCs and a few other things. I kind of do a lot of APRS. So I've been working on a couple of APRS projects with Raspberry Pis and stuff. So I'm trying to get that stuff caught up and done before I leave because I don't really have a good place to work on it up in PA right now. So that's what I've been up to.
Sorry about that, Dennis. I wasn't sure if your transmission was over or if you had cut out there, but so you said you were talking about the APRS stuff, and that's what you've been up to, and then it kind of just cut out for me real quickly, so I'm not sure if that was the end of it, but pick it back up there if you did have any additional comments.
Okay, no, I didn't have really much of anything else. I just said we're going to be heading back in 2 weeks from today, so I'm trying to get some projects caught up and done. So that was pretty much it.
Okay, very good there, Dennis. And if I don't speak with you between now and then, safe travels on your trip back up here. So, all right. Next on my list is N2BSS Jeff. How was your week?
Alrighty. Good evening, Frank, and everybody on the net, W2FJH. This is N2BSS. I'm actually at the my Steuben County Southern Tier QTH. Got up here the other day. I'm going to be spending the week here. Got a couple of days off from work, and hoping to get some stuff done around here. Getting the place ready for the season. Yeah, my daughter kept asking when I was going to turn the water on, and my wife said, "I don't care about the water when you turning the internet on." So happy to say both are active and running, and we're back in business up here. Spent the day brush hogging, cleaning out everything that needed to be cleaned out. Painted a couple of boards to go in the raised beds in the garden. Of course, the garden's going to have to wait. They're talking about frost slash freeze next week, next weekend. So yeah, it's definitely going to be mid-May or possibly later before anything goes in the ground yet. But we'll be getting all the boxes and everything ready. And tomorrow I'll probably be running the brush chipper to and chip up all the branches that have fallen down and need to get done. Now, let me grab another nickel here. Yeah, I believe the net topic was memorable QSO. Oh, gee, I've been licensed now 45 years and on the air. Had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of inactive periods. There probably about a good 10, 15 years in there. I didn't even touch a radio. But I got to say, probably one that sticks out was from when I was first licensed. I was actually living in New York City way back then. Wee lad of only 16 years old with my ham license, and of course, being the hotbed of activity that it was, even on 2 meters 45 years ago, I met on one of our repeaters, a DX station, G4LJX, I believe his call was, and he was a jetliner captain who flew a regular route between London and New York City and back. And when he was in New York City, he was on 2 meters, and he invited me to try and join him on what was our Sunday mornings. I guess that would have been Sunday afternoon for him, for when he was back in London, to try working him on 10 meters. And sure enough, one day on 10 meters, the Sunday morning, I listened to the frequency he said where he normally would hang out, and there he was. The old G4LJF. I worked him on 2 meters, and I worked him on 10 meters from London. And I remember getting his QSL card, wherever it may be today. It was it was an outline of a jetliner. I believe a 747 was what he flew. So that was kind of cool. Never did work him aeronautical mobile. I don't believe he operated radio from the plane, but it was cool to get him at home and at one of his regular destinations. So there you go. Well, back to net control and TBSS.
Hey, thanks, sir, Jeff. And yeah, that's a pretty good story there. Worked on 2 meters and also on 10 meters from 2 different locations there. So, all right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. I have reached the end of my list, so let's see if there's any additional stations out there that would like to check in this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. So since everybody got a turn, we will circle back. And if there's any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns, please call now.
KE2 DPB, just checking in, saying hello, and hello there, Jeff and 2BSS. Nothing really to say here. Had a good weekend. Went out with some old friends and did some sporting clays. So that was fun yesterday. Went all the way out into Hamlin, New York. Back to net control. KE2 DPB, clear.
N3DQD with an additional comment.
Yeah, KE2 at DPB. Jason, thanks for stopping by there. And yeah, sporting clays. I haven't gotten out to the shooting range in quite a while, but I did enjoy doing skeet, and I was going to get into sporting clays, but kind of things got in the way and other hobbies, and I haven't picked it back up again. But nice, and thanks for checking in there. All right, N3DQD Ray, fire away with your additional comments there.
Yeah, N3DQD here, Frank. A few weeks ago, Ed over there in Binghamton recommended the Grenoble Park to you, and I have not been there for a long time, but I remember it being a very family-friendly amusement park, and I think if you get a chance to take your daughter out there and your wife, I think you might have a real good time. Back to net. This is N3DQD.
Hey, thanks there, Ray. And yeah, for those that may not have followed that net, there was a little conversation with me and Ed, NE2W, after the net there. I was looking for potentially going down to Hershey Park with my daughter. And for those that don't know, I have a two-year-old little toddler that keeps me very busy. But yeah, we were going to potentially go down to Hershey Park, and he was suggesting to go to Knoebels. And yes, I have looked at Knoebels there. It looks like a fun little amusement park. And they do have, I was comparing them between Hershey and Knoebels, and it looks like Knoebels does have quite a few more rides for the little tykes. Yeah, some of these bigger ones. I have some nieces and nephews that would love some of the big roller coasters and everything else, which Knoebels seems to have a few of them as well. But yeah, there's me, the wife, and the little girl there. We might be heading down to Knoebels this summer there. So, but thanks, Ray. Yeah, we've been considering that, and hopefully we have to take a trip up to Watertown to visit family and everything first and foremost. We don't drive up to Watertown in the wintertime. Just way too many snowstorms and stuff like that we've been caught in before. But yeah, definitely this summer we're planning a trip down there at some point. So, all right. W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voiceman. Any additional stations or any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Please call now. All right, nothing heard, so we might as well wrap things up here. Great net this evening. A lot of people checking in, so I think I'm not going to be able to make it in one breath here, but we'll try in two. So I'd like to thank Mal, Carlton, Cliff, Bill, Dennis, Ed, Mick, Scott, Anna, Ray, Stephen, Dennis, Jeff, and Jason for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FGH, and I'll be listening.